Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and I'm really excited to share today's topic with you because it's something that has genuinely changed my life. Not so long ago, I was completely overwhelmed. My schedule was packed, my mind was cluttered, my home felt chaotic, so I knew something has to change. I was constantly trying to keep up with everything, chasing perfection, comparing myself to others, but it never seemed like enough. I started looking into the ways to simplify my life and realized that it wasn't about doing more, but actually about doing less, but with more intention. I read some amazing books, tried different strategies, and over time I quit 7 things that were weighing me down. So today I'm going to share those things with you, along with some of my personal tips and experience, in hopes that it will help you to simplify your life too. Let's get started. One of the first things I quit was overcommitting myself. I used to feel like I had to say yes to everything, I guess. Every work project, every social event, I was there. Every little favor. I just felt I was being helpful and productive, but instead I was just spreading myself thin. And there were times I would look into my calendar and I just feel a sense of dread because there was no room left for me. It was then that I found a book that really opened my eyes to the idea that if you don't prioritize your life, someone else will. The author is talking about the power of saying no and focusing only on what is essential. Now, before committing to anything, I ask myself, does this align with my values? Is this something I genuinely want to do? It's been such a game changer for my mental health, and it has allowed me to focus on what truly matters. We all know about perfectionism, and this perfectionism used to run my life. I would spend hours to make everything perfect, whether it was a work project, my home, or a simple dinner with friends. The fear of not being good enough was just paralyzing. Making a mistake, for example, and it often kept me from even starting doing things I wanted to do. A turning point for me was realizing that perfection, it doesn't exist. It's just an illusion. It's not achievable, and chasing it leads only to stress and disappointment. Now I embrace the concept of good enough. Think about it. I focus on project, not perfection. I remind myself that done is better than perfect. It's okay to make mistakes. That's how we learn and grow. If you're struggling with perfectionism, try to set a time limit on your tasks. For example, it's amazing how much pressure you can take off yourself by simply letting go. Here is the thing, I was so hard on myself. I'm sure that many of you can relate. There's this little voice in your brain, in your head, that constantly tells you that you are not good enough, that you are failing, that everyone else is doing better than you. This is it, right? For me, it was a daily battle, and it drained myself and drained my confidence and my energy. What helped me to turn this around was becoming mindful of this inner dialogue going inside my head and actively trying to change it. I started writing down different affirmations and practicing gratitude every single day. And over time, my mindset began to shift. And now, if this negative thought creeps in, I try to reframe it. Instead of thinking, I'm not good at this, I'll say, I'm learning, it's okay, it's a process. Remember, you are enough as you are, and you deserve kindness from others and from yourself. This is another great book I can advise you to read. Here the author talks about reclaiming our attention and focusing on what truly matters in our lives. Instead of getting lost in this endless scroll, I started setting boundaries for social media use. I unfollowed accounts that made me feel less. Then I scheduled social media breaks, and I focused on my own path instead of someone else's. That was a game changer. Now I remind myself that everyone's path is different, and the only person I need to compare myself is to who I was yesterday. There was a time when I would buy things just to fill a void. Clothes, gadgets, cosmetics, decor, you name it. And it felt so good for a moment, but then the high would fade and it left me with more and more stuff cluttering my space, my life, my home. Also, of course, draining my finances. I know you all heard about this book, it's quite a popular one, but it wasn't until I read this book that I realized how much our possessions they can wear us down. Marie's philosophy is all about keeping only what sparks joy, and it completely changed my mindset. I started being intentional with my purchases, with what I brought at home into my life, and I stopped buying things on impulse. Now I have a 30-day rule, so if I want to buy something non-essential, I wait 30 days to see if it's still something necessary. If I still do need to buy this, most of the cases I don't. This approach has helped me to save money, reduce stress, and live more intentional life. A cluttered home equals a cluttered mind, and I've experienced it firsthand. There were times when my space felt like it was closing in on me. There was stuff everywhere piling up, and it just added to my stress. I used to hold on to the just in case approach. All it did was create this endless chaos around me. Again, I took Marie Kondo's approach to heart, tackling one area at a time. I started with my closet, letting go of clothes that no longer fit, I didn't like anymore, or I hadn't worn in years. Then I moved to my kitchen, clearing out gadgets I never used. You know, it's all about marketing. You buy all the stuff for your kitchen that you never use anymore. And surprisingly, the more I let go, the lighter I felt. In my opinion, decluttering wasn't only about having a tidy home. It was more about having a space that felt peaceful, that supports the life I want to live. If you're feeling overwhelmed with all the stuff around you, start small. Even clearing one drawer can make a huge difference in the future. Mindless screen time was definitely my biggest time thief. I would lose hours on my phone, scrolling, binge watching, and getting sucked into things that were not even adding any value to my life. It left me feeling drained, disconnected from the things that really mattered. Again, this book, Digital Minimalism, it provided me with some practical steps how to reclaim my time. I set up boundaries, phone-free periods. I use these reclaimed hours for the things that genuinely bring me joy, such as reading, meditating, walking with my dog, or simply spending time with my loved ones. And if screen time is something you struggle with, I encourage you to set small boundaries to start with. You will be amazed how fulfilling life can be when you disconnect from this digital noise. So there you have it, 7 things I quit to simplify my life. Each of these changes has helped me to create more space, not just in my home, but in my mind. I hope these tips will inspire you to create some positive changes into your own lives. Remember, it's not about doing more, but about doing less, just with more intention. And if you're looking for some inspiration, you can check out the books I mentioned in the video. I will link them down below in the description box. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more content, and share it with someone who might need to hear it. Thank you, and see you in the next video.